I'm getting ready to head out on vacation here in a few days, and I'm trying to figure out my camera situation. What camera am I going to take? What microphone or cameras and microphones? I don't know. I might actually end up taking the camera that I'm filming this on, the Panasonic G7, but the microphones that I have to go along with it, the majority of them are kind of big and they all require batteries. I was actually about to go out and order a Rode Video Micro, but then this company approached me and said, hey, do you want to check out any of these list of products? And at the top of the list was this guy, the Comica Micro Compact Directional Condenser Shotgun Video Microphone. CVM-VM10. I honestly have no expectations for this. I don't know what it's going to be like. The price point on it, I think, is actually right on par with the Rode Video Micro. And if you take a look at it here on the box, I'm going to say it looks a little bit similar to the Rode Video Micro. So it's entirely possible that the same company in China that makes the Rode Video Micro is making this. I don't really know. It does give me a little bit of hope that it is sitting on a Panasonic Lumix camera, probably the GH4. I'm kind of sad that I don't know my Lumix cameras. But here's some features of it on the side. It has a cardioid polar pattern. It's mini, it's light, has a shock mount with it. It says it's super anti-interference and it can work with smartphone, GoPro, and your camera. Again, those features on the back. Low consumption power is driven by the video device. It also comes with a windscreen and a wind muff. So I'm definitely ready. Let's give this a shot. So down inside the box, there were some manuals and warranty information, as well as a little notice here that mentions turning off Wi-Fi on your phone or set it to flight mode so that there's no interference. Presumably that means if you're hooking it up to your phone to turn that off. So although it does specifically say on the box, super anti-interference and all this stuff about not needing to worry about that. So that leaves me a little confused, but this is definitely pretty cool. It's got this whole nifty little carrying case, and inside the carrying case, there you go. So you do get a couple of 3.5mm cables. They're coiled cables. One is the 3.5mm stereo connection. The other one is for your smartphone. It specifically mentions smartphone on it. You get the dead cat in here, the wind muff. And actually these are so small, I've heard them called a dead mouse before. They're all terrible names, don't get me wrong. But it's fluffy. It's got lots and lots of fluff to it, and it's shedding. And the mic should just fit down in there. Here's the shock mount with the cold shoe on it, as well as a tripod mount on the bottom. So you'll just put that on your camera, screw it into place. And I think that's actually a sort of a really thin, really light metal, because when I'm screwing this up and down, it sounds like metal instead of plastic. The top part obviously is all rubber, but that's a metal mount. Here's your traditional windscreen pop filter, not the dead cat. So this is the part you'd use if you wanted to just keep the plosives at bay, but not necessarily stop the wind. And of course, last but hopefully not least, is the microphone itself. It is all metal. Here's the grill on the front, video microphone CVM-VM10, and it says Comica on here, 3.5mm plug on the back, and the microphone screen will just fit over it like that. That was actually pretty simple, and it should just kind of click into place on these. Then you take your audio cable, plug it into your device, and it should be good to start going. So as a point of reference, this is going to be a completely unfair comparison at the moment. I'm using the Focusrite Scarlett CM25 Mark II condenser microphone overhead going into the Tascam DR60D Mark II, which is pumping the audio level up significantly and then forwarding it into my Panasonic G7 camera. So don't use this as your baseline, as your point of comparison. So for a more accurate point of comparison, this is the Panasonic G7. All of the audio settings are set pretty much standard. It's 0 dB on the microphone gain, its microphone limiter is turned on, and I do not have an external mic plugged in at the moment. And now I've swapped over to using the microphone that I used to use, the shotgun mic. It's an Audio-Technica AT8024. It's set to just all of its standard settings, mono, 0 dB, so on and so forth. And again, the levels look normal in the camera. And now we're using the little Comica video shotgun microphone, completely unpowered. Same settings on the camera, so 0 dB, mic limiter turned on, and again, it doesn't look like it's completely spiking out. It's getting very close to spiking though, which is surprising for something that's not using power. I did one very quick test with this earlier before I got to this, and I heard there was a little bit of a background, sort of a buzzing noise to it, which might have something to do with the cable or interference from lights or anything else. So let's take a second and just see if there's any noise. I don't see anything on the audio meters there, but I'll go check it now and we'll see how it sounded. So a few minutes and a lot of trial and error later, we're back. This is the original coil cable that came with the microphone. As you heard from the previous test, it introduced a lot of hum, a lot of buzz, a lot of background noise. Presumably it's letting through a lot of interference, which means the cable is not terribly well shielded. This is the smartphone cable. I did a very quick test with this one as well, using this little Rode smartphone to stereo adapter, which is supposed to take a mic that you would normally plug into your phone and make it work with a normal camera. Exact same issue, had the exact same hum, whatever sort of interference it was. but I'm actually using the microphone now because I happen to have a very, very short, like exactly the right length, 3.5mm cable that seems to be working. I did a very quick test with this just a minute ago, and this cable with this microphone actually sounds pretty impressive, given the size and the fact that it doesn't take a battery. And here we are outdoors in the wind using this same microphone. I'm actually going to turn so that the wind is blowing against it. I can see the fur on the dead cat is actually moving quite a bit, so I'll be curious to see how this sounds, if it's actually able to muffle the wind significantly or not. But yeah, the wind is definitely blowing it pretty decently. Maybe you can see in the background the trees and everything are moving pretty well. The fan overhead is moving pretty significantly. So let's see if that made a difference. And for reference, I'm out here right now with nothing on the microphone. So this is the dead cat outside. You can see it blowing in the wind right now. So initial impressions, the microphone itself, I think that I'm actually decently impressed with it, but you'll have to let me know what you think of it down below. I'm not terribly impressed with these little cables, but I have a feeling that there's probably just interference issues, and maybe if I took it away from this environment where I've got Wi-Fi and I've got LED lights that have Bluetooth emitters and all sorts of other things plugged in and humming and vibrating, there may not be any sort of issue, but it would kind of stink to use these cables and then find out, oh wait, there was something there interfering after the fact, and then you've ruined all your footage. So if you do end up picking one of these microphones up, definitely make sure that you've got a cable that is properly shielded. I mean, the cable I'm using isn't even thick, it's just short and not coiled. So I'm gonna say that I'm a fan of this microphone, with the caveat that you do have to come up with some sort of other cable for it. Given the price point and given that it is so close to the Rode Video Micro, is it worth the difference in price to go with Rode versus this? I'm gonna leave that one up to you, but so far I'm pretty impressed with it. But again, let me know what you think of it down in the comments section. I'll put a link to where you can find it down below as well. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to the channel to get notified anytime I put out a new video. Actually hit that little bell to get notified whenever I put out a new video as well, if you want to get notified and actually know when it's coming. But otherwise, I will see you again next time.